Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to take a look about another horrifying story. This story is about Issei Sagawa. So let's continue. A man who confessed to offing an eating woman but only got 15 months in jail. He grew up in a very normal home. One of his interviews, he said that he always knew he was abnormal. He said he had a lot of strange fantasies from very young age. Fantasize about eating people, especially women. So this is the story about Issei Sagawa. So Issei Sagawa said in his previous interview that in the first grade he saw a girl wearing shorts and he remembered thinking that her legs looks delicious and he wanted to eat it. He was only 6 years old. He said he would eventually go off to university, but he grew obsessed with this woman. He one day followed her to her home and waited for her to go to the bed. He didn't want to kill her. He just wanted to take a bite of her bottom. While breaking in, he wakes her up, and because he was quite small man, she was able to take him. She called the police, but charges were dropped because Issei's father had quite a lot of money. Issei Sagawa went to France to pursue a PhD. He also knew at this point that it was his life goal to eat a woman. He actually admitted to almost every night he bring home a prostitute with the intention of killing them, but he would never do it because he was scared. That's until he met a girl in his class called Renée. Renée was said to be a very tall and beautiful Dutch girl, and for Issei it was love at first. But Renée wasn't just beautiful, she was very intelligent and knew many languages. So Issei convinced her to tutor him German. He offered to pay her good money and she agreed. But Issei had a plan, and safe to say that plan was not learning German. So 11th June 1981, he invites Renée over to dinner. First, Issei started by confessing all of his love to Renée. He was completely infatuated with Renée, so he spilled it all in the last moment. But unfortunately, Renée didn't feel the same. She saw him more as really good friend at the time. So she politely shut him down and they moved on. That's when Issei asked her to read him a poem, so she read a poem. Unfortunately for poor Renée, as she reading this poem, Issei comes up behind her and shoots her. He then proceeds to faint. Then he woke up. Then he ate the head parts of Renée. He eventually realized that he has to dispose of her, so he put her into two suitcases and call a taxi. The taxi driver helps him with his bag and says, "Oh, these are very heavy." The taxi driver takes him to a very busy park. He freaks out and he just leaves the suitcase in the open. Obviously, it's not long before someone looked at the suitcases and opened them, and they freaked out and called the police. Lots of people reported seeing a smaller Asian man with these suitcases. The authorities then contact the cab companies and ask them if they have seen a man of this description with some heavy suitcase. And the taxi driver that took Issei was like, "Yeah, me." So it didn't take long for Issei to be found and exported. So the police show up the door, and what Issei said was, "Yeah, I killed her to eat her flesh." The French court system actually deemed him insane and he went to an institution, but he was deported back to Japan. The Japanese doctor declared him sane and they tried to convict him to murder and bring him back to the court. But they needed the court document and French just wouldn't send it. So they couldn't keep Issei in the institution for a long. So he was able to check himself out, just live his life. He is still out there living his life. This is the end of this horrifying story. If you like to watch more videos about murder mysteries, serial killers, please subscribe our channel. Thank you for watching.